In the cold halls of the alien palace, the air was heavy with pride and cruelty. The Grand Baron of the Zarkan Empire sat on his golden throne, his sharp eyes full of mischief. He was a powerful alien lord, feared by many across the galaxy, but today he had called a human to his court, just for fun. His name was Marcus, a human war veteran known for his courage. His face was hard, his eyes sharp, his body still strong despite the scars of many battles. The aliens watched him with amusement, whispering and laughing. To them, humans were clever, but still weak. The Baron wanted to prove that even a human could be broken with the right insult. The Baron smiled wickedly and clapped his hands too. Guards brought in a small figure, hidden under a dark cloth. They dropped her carelessly on the cold floor, like a sack of garbage. Marcus watched silently, his eyes narrowing. The Baron stood and raised his arms, his voice loud and mocking. Human. Marcus! You think you humans are so great, so clever, so brave, the Baron said. Then I give you a gift, a challenge, or perhaps a joke. The cloth was pulled away, revealing a girl. She was alien, with soft blue skin, long silver hair, and glowing eyes, but her body was lifeless, her arms thin, her legs twisted. She could not move, she could not speak. Her eyes stared blankly, like a doll. The room filled with laughter, the aliens finding it hilarious. Take her, human, the Baron sneered. She is my daughter, Lyra, paralyzed and useless. Even the best doctors in the galaxy failed to heal her. Let's see if a simple human can do what no one else could. Marcus did not laugh. He looked at the girl closely. Her eyes, something was strange. They were not empty. No, there was a spark. A light, hidden deep inside. But there, the Baron watched Marcus with interest, expecting anger or refusal. But Marcus simply bent down, carefully lifting the fragile girl in his arms. Very well, Marcus said coldly. I accept your gift. The laughter stopped, replaced with murmurs of confusion. The Baron tilted his head, surprised. Why do you accept her? She is nothing but a shell. Marcus looked the Baron straight in the eyes. Because where I come from, we don't throw people away, Marcus replied. And because I see something in her that you don't. With that, Marcus turned and walked out. The girl in his arms, the alien stared, unsure if it was bravery or madness. But the Baron smiled, amused. Let the human play his little game, he said. He will soon realize that hope is useless. Back in his quarters, Marcus laid the girl on a soft bed. He checked her pulse. Her breathing, weak but steady. He talked to her softly. I don't know if you can hear me, he said. But I saw it. Your eyes, you are in there, aren't you? Her eyes did not move, but Marcus had seen many things in war. He knew the look of a living mind trapped inside a broken body. He brought out a small human-made device, a neural scanner. It was old tech from Earth, but still useful. He placed it on her head, watching the readings. His eyes widened. Her brain activity was high, more than normal, even more than any human. She was awake, aware, but trapped. What did they do to you, girl? Marcus whispered. Then for a split second, her finger twitched, barely, but it moved. Marcus smiled. It's okay, I saw that, he said. You're fighting inside, aren't you? He decided then he would help her. He didn't care if it was a joke or an insult. He wouldn't let her rot away. But deep inside the palace walls, others were watching. A shadow moved silently, reporting back to someone hidden. The human has started working on her. The shadow whispered, we must watch him closely. If he succeeds, everything will change. Marcus didn't know yet. But this girl was not just paralyzed. She was special, more than anyone could imagine. And now her fate was tied to his. Together, they would face dangers that neither of them could see coming. But Marcus had made up his mind. They called it a joke, an insult. But he would turn it into something else, something powerful. Because that is what humans do. We see the impossible, and we make it possible. Marcus worked for days inside his small room. The alien girl, Lyra, lay on the bed, still and silent. But Marcus talked to her every day. He told her about Earth, about human wars, about survival. Even if she didn't answer, he believed she could hear him. He watched her eyes, searching for any sign. And then one night, while he was fixing his old neural device, he heard it, a sound very soft like a whisper in the air. He turned quickly. Lyra's lips had moved, just a little. He ran to her side, leaning close. "What did you say?" he asked. Her lips trembled, barely making a sound, but Marcus caught it. "Help." That one word changed everything. She was alive inside, screaming to get out. Marcus felt anger boiling in his chest. They all laughed at her, called her useless. But she was fighting. Marcus worked harder, barely sleeping. He modified his old Earth tech, making it better, sharper. He connected tiny wires to her skin, gentle electric pulses to wake her nerves. At first, nothing. Then her fingers switched again. Then her toes, each small movement was a victory. Marcus smiled every time, cheering her on. "You're not alone, kid," he whispered. "I'll pull you out. Piece by piece if I have to." One day, while scanning her brain, Marcus noticed something strange. Her brain waves were not just active, they were glowing on the screen. He had never seen such patterns before. Then he felt it. A voice. Not in his ears, but inside his mind. "You can hear me," the voice said softly. Marcus froze, looking around. Then he realized it was her. Lyra was speaking to him with her mind. "Telepathy," Marcus whispered. "You're a telepath?" "Yes," the voice answered weakly, "but my father sealed my powers. He was afraid of me." Marcus's mind raced. The Baron had paralyzed her not because she was weak, but because she was dangerous. She wasn't just a daughter. She was a seer, an empath. She could read thoughts, feel emotions, and even see glimpses of the future. "Why did he fear you?" Marcus asked. Her answer came slow but clear. "Because I saw his secret. I saw his plan to conquer the galaxy. I saw the dark force he made a deal with." Marcus felt cold. This was bigger than he thought. He wasn't just helping a girl. He was uncovering a hidden war. "We'll fix you," Marcus promised. "You'll walk, you'll speak, and then you'll show me everything you know." But outside his door, footsteps echoed. Spies of the Baron watched him, whispering to each other. "The human is making progress," one said. "We must report this." They didn't want Lyra to wake up. They knew her power could destroy the Baron's plans. They would soon try to stop Marcus. But Marcus was prepared. He started hiding his tools, covering his tracks. He trained Lyra's mind, talking to her every day. She grew stronger, her mental voice clearer. One evening, her hand grabbed his wrist, weak but real. Marcus smiled wide. "You did it," he said. "You moved." Lyra's lips moved, a whisper escaping. "Thank you." But then her eyes widened in fear. She grabbed his hand tightly. "They are coming," she said in his mind. "They will kill you if they find out I'm awake." Marcus's face turned serious. He knew she was right, but he wasn't going to back down. He looked her in the eyes and said, "Then we'll prepare together." He didn't know how yet, but he would protect her. Because Lyra wasn't just a helpless girl. She was the key to something bigger. Something that could either save the galaxy or doom it. And now, the clock was ticking. The Baron's spies were closing in, and Marcus had to move fast before it was too late. Marcus watched Lyra grow stronger every day. Her hands, once frozen like stone, now trembled with life. Her eyes, once empty, now burned with quiet fire. But Marcus knew time was running out. The Baron's spies were everywhere. One wrong move, and they would both disappear. Late one night, while the sky outside burned with 2 moons, Marcus sat beside Lyra, checking her pulse. Suddenly, her eyes glowed faintly. She stared ahead, not at Marcus, but at something unseen. "Lyra?" Marcus whispered. Her lips parted, her voice weak but clear. "I see shadows moving. A storm is coming, ... Then her body shook, her mind seeing things far beyond the room. Marcus grabbed her hand. "What do you see?" "Tell me," she gasped, then said, "My father ... he made a deal." With an ancient power, it sleeps under the black star. If it wakes, the galaxy will burn. Marcus's heart pounded. She wasn't just guessing, she was seeing the future. Her gift, her curse, was awakening. Lyra turned her eyes to Marcus. "They will come for me soon," she whispered. "And if they take me, no one will stop the darkness." Marcus nodded, determination in his eyes. "Then we have no choice," he said. "We train, we prepare, we fight." But training a paralyzed girl was not easy. Marcus used his human technology, old Earth stimulators, metal braces, and neural enhancers, each day. Lyra's muscles grew a little stronger, her mind sharpened, and with each success, she revealed more. She explained that her father, the Baron, was once proud of her powers, until one day, she saw too much. She saw his betrayal, his secret pact with a forgotten alien species, the Umbrax, creatures of shadow and thought. If they returned, they would swallow worlds in darkness. So the Baron sealed her powers, paralyzed her, and hid her away like a broken toy. Marcus listened carefully, every word adding to a puzzle much bigger than he imagined. One evening, while Lyra practiced moving her legs with support, she stopped suddenly. Her eyes glowed again, brighter this time. "Someone is watching us," she said. Marcus grabbed his weapon, scanning the shadows. "But he saw nothing," Lyra whispered. "Not here. In their minds I can feel it. A watcher, an assassin, close by." Marcus cursed under his breath. "We have to leave this palace," he said. But Lyra shook her head. "No, not yet. I need more time ... to unlock my full power." Then she did something Marcus didn't expect. She touched his forehead with her weak hand. A warm light spread through his mind, memories, visions, and emotions, all shared between them. Marcus felt her pain, her fear, but also her hope. And deeper still, he saw her power. It was not just telepathy. She could manipulate energy, read thoughts, and even change small realities. But she was still learning, still weak. Marcus knew he had to protect her until she was ready, because once fully awakened, she would be more than just a seer. She could be humanity's greatest weapon. But far away, in the dark halls of the palace, the Baron sat on his throne. A spy whispered in his ear, "The human is making progress, my lord." The girl stirs. The Baron's eyes narrowed. "Then send the Shadow Hand," he ordered. "No more watching. Kill the human and destroy the girl." That night, under the cover of darkness, a silent assassin approached Marcus's room, a shadow with blades and poison. But Marcus was ready. He waited. In the dark, gun in hand, eyes sharp, the door creaked. A flash of metal. The assassin struck. But Marcus fired first. A shot to the chest. The shadow fell. But before dying, the assassin smiled. "You're too late. They are coming... Marcus stood over the body, breathing hard. He looked back at Lyra. She stood weakly, holding onto the wall, but standing, her eyes glowing, her voice clear. "We have to leave now." Marcus nodded. There was no more time to hide. They had to run, survive, and finish what they started. Because Lyra's power was growing, and the galaxy's darkest threat was waking up. Together, they would face it. But first, they had to escape. The night air on the alien world was heavy and sharp. Marcus and Lyra stood near the old back corridors of the palace. Lyra was standing with support, her legs shaking but stronger than before. She looked up at Marcus, her glowing eyes serious. "They will not stop, Marcus," she said. "The Baron has sent his deadliest spies. They are already moving in the shadows." Marcus nodded, gripping his old human blaster. "I've faced killers before, but this is different." Suddenly, Lyra stiffened, her eyes glowing brighter. She gripped Marcus's arm tightly. "They are here, inside the walls," she whispered. "I can feel them... Their minds are dark, like cold knives." Marcus didn't wait. He grabbed his pack, helped Lyra onto a hover sled. "We're moving now," he said. But as they exited the room, the lights flickered. A shadow dropped from the ceiling, tall, thin, and wrapped in black armor. its face hidden under a sharp mask. Two glowing red eyes stared at Marcus. "You cannot run, human," the shadow hissed. "The girl belongs to the Baron. Give her up, and your death will be quick." Marcus raised his blaster. "You want her? Come and take her." The shadow moved fast, faster than any soldier Marcus had faced. Blades flashing, Marcus ducked and fired, the blaster beam grazing the assassin's side. But the shadow kept coming. Behind them, Lyra closed her eyes, her mind reaching out. She felt the assassin's thoughts, cold, focused, merciless, but then she pushed, her mental power striking like a wave. The assassin staggered, holding his head. "Ah! The witch!" He growled. That was all Marcus needed. He fired again, this time hitting the assassin's chest. The shadow collapsed, smoking and still. But Marcus knew more would come. He turned to Lyra, who was sweating, her breathing heavy. "You saved me," Marcus said. Lyra shook her head. "I barely touched his mind. I need to get stronger." Marcus smiled slightly. "Then we'll get you stronger. But first, we get out of here." They sneaked through the dark tunnels under the palace. Old maintenance paths, half forgotten. But Marcus had memorized the layout. He had prepared for this. As they moved, Lyra whispered, "I saw something." In the assassin's mind, there's another, more dangerous, an elite. They call her the Whisper. The Whisper? Marcus asked. "Yes, a killer no one ever sees. She strikes with mind and blade. If she comes, we won't survive without help." Marcus frowned, thinking fast. "There's an old human outpost on this planet, hidden deep in the canyons. If we reach it, we might find weapons, maybe allies." Lyra nodded weakly, then suddenly she gasped. She gripped her head, eyes wide. "What is it?" Marcus asked. "I saw it. A vision," she whispered. "The Baron is making a move. He is summoning the Umbrax, the ancient shadows." She looked at Marcus, fear in her voice. "If they wake, nothing will stop them." Marcus's jaw tightened. "Then we have to stop them before that happens." They reached the outer palace walls. Marcus set charges on the gates. With a blast, the gates blew open. Alarms sounded, lights flashing everywhere. Guards poured out, but Marcus grabbed Lyra and ran. Blaster shots fired around them. Lyra tried to focus her mind, sending confusion into the guards' thoughts. Some of them hesitated, dazed, giving Marcus a chance to escape. They reached a stolen hoverbike. Marcus helped Lyra on. With a roar, the bike shot forward into the night. Behind them, the Baron watched from his tower, his eyes burning with rage. "Send the Whisper," he growled, "and prepare the ritual. The Umbrax must awaken soon." Far away, riding through the dark canyons, Marcus and Lyra pushed forward. The night was silent, but danger was everywhere. Marcus looked at Lyra. "Rest while you can," he said. "But stay ready." Lyra nodded. "I'll be ready. I have to be." And deep inside her mind, something was waking, a power older than anyone knew, and soon the galaxy would feel it. The hoverbike raced through the deep canyons. Cold winds howled, sharp rocks towered on both sides. Marcus kept his grip firm on the controls. Lyra sat behind him, holding on weakly, her breathing heavy. They had escaped the palace, but not the danger. Every shadow felt alive, as if eyes were watching from the dark. Suddenly, Lyra tensed, her voice trembling. "She's coming, Marcus. The Whisper. She's close." Marcus didn't slow down, but his eyes scanned the cliffs above. "The elite assassin?" he asked. Lyra nodded, her eyes glowing faintly. "She's not like the others. She doesn't just kill, she plays with the mind. She make you see things that aren't real." Marcus cursed under his breath. A mental assassin, just what he needed. But he wasn't about to give up. Up ahead, the canyon opened into a wide, dead valley. At the center stood the old human outpost Marcus spoke of, rusty, broken, but still standing. It was their only hope. Marcus stopped the bike, lifting Lyra off carefully. She could now stand. With help, her legs shaky but stronger. Inside the outpost, everything was cold. Metal and dust, but Marcus smiled. This was once a human defense station. Some tech might still work. He powered up the old generators. Lights flickered, then buzzed alive. Walls lit up with old Earth symbols. It felt like home in a dead place, but before he could celebrate, Lyra grabbed his arm. Her voice was urgent. "She's here." Marcus spun around, gun ready. But the shadows in the corners remained still, silence. Then a voice, soft as a whisper in the wind. Human. Brave but foolish. Out of the shadows stepped a tall, slender figure, wrapped in flowing dark cloth. Her face hidden under a silver mask, her eyes glowing violet. She was graceful, like a shadow dancing. "You must be the Whisper," Marcus said. Aiming his blaster, the figure chuckled. "And you must be the stubborn human who thinks he can change fate." Before Marcus could shoot, his vision blurred. The walls around him twisted. Voices echoed in his mind. Screams, laughter, gunfire. Old memories of war, pain, loss. He stumbled, clutching his head. "She's in your mind." Lyra shouted, "Fight her, Marcus." Marcus tried to focus, but the images felt real. He saw his old squad, dying. He saw Earth burning. But then, another voice. "Soft but strong, Marcus, listen to me." It was Lyra, speaking into his mind. "This isn't real. Fight her." Marcus clenched his fists, grounding himself. He focused on Lyra's voice, pushing away the false visions. Slowly, his mind cleared. The walls became real again. The Whisper tilted her head. "Impressive, human," she said. "But how long can you resist?" Lyra stepped forward, weak but standing. Her eyes glowed bright, her voice steady. "You want my mind, assassin? Then come and face it." The Whisper smiled under her mask. "As you wish." Their minds clashed, invisible but powerful. Marcus watched as Lyra stood still, eyes shining, lips whispering words unknown. The air felt heavy, like the world itself was holding its breath. Minutes passed like hours, then Lyra gasped. Stumbling, but smiling, the Whisper stood frozen, shaking. Then, without a sound, she collapsed, unconscious, defeated. Marcus rushed to Lyra, catching her before she fell. "You did it," he said. Lyra nodded weakly. "She's asleep for now. But more will come." Marcus helped her sit, then looked around the outpost. They needed a plan, a real one. "There's an old escape ship in the hangar," Marcus remembered. "If I can repair it, we can leave this planet." Lyra placed her hand on his, and then? She asked. "Then we find allies," Marcus said. "We tell the humans, the rebels, anyone who will listen. The Baron is waking the Umbrax, and if we don't stop him, no one will." Lyra smiled faintly. "You're not just a soldier." "Marcus, you're a leader," Marcus smiled back. "Maybe, but first, let's fix that ship." As Marcus worked, Lyra sat close, her mind still sensing the future. She saw flashes, battles, fire, stars breaking. And deep in the shadows of space, something huge was moving, waking. She whispered to herself, "We don't have much time. ... The old human outpost echoed with the sound of machines starting after years of silence. Marcus worked hard in the dusty hangar, sparks flying from his tools. The escape ship was old. Its body rusted, its engines dead, but Marcus was determined to bring it back to life. Lyra sat nearby, her body still weak, but her mind sharper than ever. She watched Marcus with quiet eyes, feeling something she hadn't felt in years, hope. Each night, Lyra trained her mind, unlocking more of her powers. She could now feel the emotions of every living thing within miles. She could sense the Baron's spies still searching, moving closer. One night, as Marcus tightened the last bolt on the engine, Lyra spoke softly. "I saw something." A glimpse of the future. Marcus wiped sweat from his brow. "What did you see?" "War," Lyra whispered. "Planets burning, stars falling, but I also saw a symbol. The old human banner, rising again." Marcus stared at her, a spark of pride in his chest. "Humanity rising?" he asked. Lyra nodded. "Yes, but only if we act fast," Marcus smiled. "Then we'll rise, Lyra, together, finally." The ship's engines roared to life, the hangar trembling. They were ready to leave this cursed planet. But before they could board, a signal blinked on the old outpost screen. Marcus frowned, checking it. It was a distress call. Faint, broken. But human. A human signal, Marcus whispered. It's coming from a nearby mining colony. Maybe survivors. Lyra placed a hand on his arm. If we save them, they might join us. We need allies, Marcus. Marcus agreed. We can't fight this war alone. They flew the repaired ship toward the mining colony. The place was half destroyed. Smoke rising from the ground. When they landed, they saw the wreckage of battle. But among the ruins stood a small group of humans. Armed and tired, their leader, a woman named Captain Rena, aimed her gun at Marcus. Identify yourself. She shouted. Marcus raised his hands. Name's Marcus. Human, like you. We're not your enemy. Rena lowered her weapon slowly. You're the first human we've seen in years, she said. Why are you here? Marcus looked at Lyra, then back at Rena. Because there's a war coming, and we need every human we can find. Rena listened as Marcus and Lyra told their story, the Baron, the Umbrax, the ancient force that was waking, the humans at the colony. Looked scared, but also angry. We've been hiding too long. Rena said, if what you say is true, we can't stay quiet anymore. We'll fight, Marcus smiled. Good, because we'll need fighters. We're going to take the fight to the Baron. Lyra stepped forward, her voice clear. But we must move fast. I feel the Umbrax stirring. They are close to waking. Rena nodded. Then let's move. We'll help you, Marcus. We'll show the galaxy what humans can do. They returned to the ship together, stronger in numbers. As they prepared to leave, Lyra stood at the window, staring into space. Marcus came beside her. You all right? He asked. Lyra shook her head. No, something is coming. I can feel it. Something worse than death. Far away, in the depths of space, the Baron stood before a massive gate. Dark energy swirled. A voice whispering from the void. Release us ... and you will rule the stars. The Baron smiled wickedly. Soon, the Umbrax will rise, and nothing will stop me. But far from him. Aboard the old human ship, Marcus, Lyra, and their new allies prepared for war. A war not just for survival, but for the soul of the galaxy. And this time, humanity was ready to rise. Space was dark and silent, but deep in its shadows, a storm was gathering. Marcus stood on the bridge of the old human ship. Around him, Captain Rena's soldiers prepared their weapons. They wore patched armor, carried old guns, but their eyes burned with purpose. Lyra stood beside Marcus, her silver hair shining faintly. Her eyes glowed brighter than ever. She could feel it. The enemy was waking. The Umbrax were moving beneath the surface of space, and the Baron was ready to unleash them. Marcus looked at his crew. Today we make our stand, he said. We may be outnumbered, but we are human, and we don't back down. The soldiers cheered softly. Their courage was not in numbers, it was in their will. The ship jumped into hyperspace, heading straight for the Baron's stronghold, a massive fortress floating above. A dead star, dark, ancient, and pulsing with energy. Lyra's voice echoed in Marcus's mind. He's there, Marcus, and the gate is almost open. They landed the ship on a hidden side of the fortress, moving through metal halls cold like a grave. The walls whispered, voices of the Umbrax, ancient, hungry. Suddenly, alarms blared. The Baron knew they were here. Guards poured into the corridors. Marcus led the charge, his blaster firing. Captain Rena's soldiers fought bravely, pushing forward. Lyra stayed behind them. Her mind spreading like light, she sent confusion into the enemy's ranks, blinding them, twisting their senses. But then, the Baron appeared. Tall, armored in black steel, his eyes glowing red. Foolish human, the Baron spat. You should have stayed on your dying world. Now you'll witness the birth of a new galaxy, ruled by me and the Umbrax. Marcus stepped forward. You'll rule nothing. We're here to end this. The Baron laughed and raised his hand. The walls shook, and from the shadows, they came. The Umbrax, creatures of pure darkness, with glowing eyes and endless mouths. Marcus and his team fired, but the shadows kept coming. They couldn't be killed by normal weapons. Lyra stepped forward, her body trembling but her eyes blazing. She raised her hands, her voice echoing in both mind and air. I am the seer. You tried to break me, but I have awakened. Light exploded from her. Bright and pure, the Umbrax screamed, shrinking away from her power. Lyra's mind struck them like a burning spear. She pushed back the darkness, holding it at bay. The Baron roared in anger, charging at Marcus. The two clashed, steel, fists, and fury. Marcus fought like a soldier, but more like a human who refused to give up. You're just a man, the Baron hissed. Marcus smiled through the pain. Yes, but that's enough. With one final blow, Marcus smashed his weapon into the Baron's chest. The armor cracked. The Baron fell, gasping. Lyra walked forward, standing over him. You feared me because I saw your end, she said. And now, it's here. She unleashed her power. The Umbrax screamed and vanished into nothing. The fortress shook, lights dying. Marcus grabbed Lyra. We have to go. This place is falling. They ran, the team escaping just as the fortress collapsed into the dead star. In space, their ship floated, watching the explosion. Marcus stood on the bridge, looking at Lyra. You did it, he said. Lyra smiled weakly. No, we did it. But deep in her mind, she felt it. One Umbrax survived, hiding, waiting. This wasn't over. Not yet, but for now, humanity had won, and they would be ready when the shadows returned. Because humans never stop fighting, never stop rising.